Welcome back to another episode of the 52 Business Mistakes I Made in Business over the last 17 years. Is your business preventing you from doing something that you really want to do? It might be. Stay tuned.
Welcome to this edition of Peak Performers Podcast with your host, Thor Conklin. Thor will be sharing the necessary tools, strategies, and psychology you'll need to become a peak performer in any area of your life or business.
Thor Conklin here. We give you the tricks, the tips, the tools, the strategy, the technology, and the psychology peak performers use in order to get more done and execute at the highest level. If you know what to do but struggle with getting it all done, or simply want to raise your game to the next level, this podcast is for you. Sit back and enjoy. Who's holding you accountable? Many will answer, myself. Well, that only goes so far. You'll do more for others than you'll do for yourself. If you're not getting the results that you want, need, and desire, it comes down to your accountability. If you're ready to stop dabbling and really play full out, head on over to thorconklin.com and under services, check out our real accountability system. This is not for the timid or weak of heart. This is only for those individuals that are truly committed to taking their game to the next level. If you're familiar with a lot of my work, my message is pretty clear. First and foremost, figure out what you want your life to look like. Figure out that North Star, that vision that you want your overall life to look like. And then start plugging in the areas that reach that goal, reach that vision. So in other words, if you have a vision of X, make sure that your finances are in alignment with that. Make sure that your relationships are in alignment with that. Make sure that your business supports that overall vision. So often as entrepreneurs, we start running down a lane because we're kind of fascinated with this particular business, industry, or idea, only to find out later that we've built something that doesn't support our overall life. It's in conflict with something. The example that I'll give you is I had a business that was doing a couple $1 million in revenue, and it had a physical location here in Georgia. About 3 years after starting this business, I realized that, you know what? I think I'd really like to move to Florida or maybe California. But I realized at that moment that my business was keeping me here in Georgia. Now, there's nothing wrong with Georgia. There's nothing wrong with Atlanta. However, I did not have the flexibility to move because my business had a physical presence here. I just couldn't pick it up and just move it somewhere. And at a couple $1 million in revenue, there wasn't enough revenue and enough profits to bring in a professional management team to run the organization. So I found myself very much beholden, captive to my business. It doesn't sound like a big issue in the beginning, but you might be growing a business and putting down roots in one particular place and building something out that if circumstances change and you want to relocate, you might not be able to. If this doesn't matter to you, you don't think this will be an issue in the future, great. But for me, I always want the flexibility. I always want the option to be able to go where I want to go. Today, many businesses are leaving California simply because it's very difficult to do business there. Cost of living is high, the taxation is high, and people are relocating. They're going to Nevada, Florida, Puerto Rico. Question of the day. Have you sat down and figured out what you want for your overall life? Have you figured out what that North Star is? Have you figured out what that vision is? If you haven't, stop and do that first. And then look at each area of your life. Specifically, look at your business. Are there things that you're doing or want to be doing that are putting down roots in a particular city or a state that may not serve you a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Don't get so caught up in the small picture and forget about the overall goals for your life. Thank you so much for listening today. I really do appreciate your time, and I hope you found today's show valuable. If you would like to receive these shows automatically to your phone or to your computer, simply go to iTunes and subscribe. After listening to several of the shows, If you're so inclined, please leave us a 5-star rating, as this helps us reach additional people and spread the message. If you're truly committed to taking your life to the next level and doing whatever it takes to become a peak performer, but something's holding you back, something is blocking your way, and you just can't seem to figure out what it is, send me an email to info@thorconklin.com, and I'd be more than happy to get on the phone with you. We'll schedule a 15-minute discovery call. No obligation, no cost. I absolutely love to hear from the listeners, and if there's something I can do to help, I'd be more than happy to do that. Also, if you found something of great interest in today's show and you want to share that with your friends and family, simply go to my Facebook page, Thor Conklin, click on the episode, hit the share button, and share it on your page. You can follow me at Twitter at Thor Conklin. The website is thorconklin.com. We're constantly adding new free resources, discussing additional tricks, tips, tools, and strategies on how to be a peak performer. Remember, I try to keep these episodes short so you can listen to them during dot time, doing other things, commuting, driving, walking, working out. Decide to be a peak performer in all that you do. And until tomorrow, have an absolutely amazing day.